Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In today's lecture, I'll talk about some of the important MCQs with respect to the Keynesian theory of employment. In the previous class as well, we have covered certain MCQs with respect to Keynesian theory of employment. In the segue of the same, let us look at some of the most important MCQs with respect to the flowchart of Keynesian theory of employment. So here I have drawn the flowchart and we'll come to this one by one as we solve the multiple choice questions. So let us first look at the first MCQ. In the Keynesian model, the aggregate demand at which the level of employment is equal to aggregate supply is called as dash. That means at a level of employment, aggregate demand and aggregate supply are intersecting each other and they are equal. You call that to be effective solution, you call that to be effective demand, whether you call it effective supply or none of the above. So here the correct answer is ED, which is effective demand, option B. That means in the Keynesian model, the aggregate demand at which the level of employment is also equal to aggregate supply, it is called as effective demand. So here in the flowchart, you will see that level of employment depends upon total output and total output in turn depends upon effective demand, and this effective demand is achieved at a point wherein the aggregate demand and aggregate supply are equal to each other, and that is also equal to the level of employment at that prevailing time or that prevailing juncture. So this is how you can look at the first question, and here from the flow chart, the level of employment depends upon total output and total output depends upon effective demand. So this is how the chronology is like. So I hope the first three sort of dependence or the first three aspects of the flow chart are pretty much clear. Let us now move to, and also the question per se. Let us now move to the next question, which is talking about, according to Keynes, dash unemployment is due to deficiency of aggregate demand. If at all there is deficiency of aggregate demand in the market, what kind of unemployment is seen according to the Keynesian theory? Whether it is voluntary unemployment, whether it is involuntary unemployment, whether it is structural unemployment or none of the above. So here, according to Keynes, whenever there is deficiency of aggregate demand, you see involuntary unemployment. That means the people are willing to work at the ongoing wage rate but cannot find jobs. So here I am involuntarily unemployed. In this case, I am voluntarily unemployed. That means there are jobs but I don't want to do it. But in this case, what is happening is I am willing to work at the ongoing wage rate, but unfortunately I cannot find jobs. And why I cannot find jobs? It is only because of deficiency of aggregate demand according to John Maynard Keynes. So this is what the classical theory propounds. That means there is unemployment existing in the economy as a result of deficiency of aggregate demand, and such unemployment is called as involuntary unemployment. That means I am willing to work at the ongoing wage rate but I am not finding jobs per se. I hope this question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question, which is talking about aggregate demand in the simple Keynesian model depends or consists of dash demand and dash demand. In the simple Keynesian model, aggregate demand consists of dash demand and dash demand. Let us look at the underlying options available to us. Saving and investment, second is consumption demand and investment demand, third is consumption demand and saving demand, and fourth is none of the above. Let us now come to our flow chart here. Here it is clearly asked that aggregate demand or aggregate demand function per se depends upon what all things. So here you can see that effective demand depends upon supply function or aggregate supply and aggregate demand. It is said that in the shorter run, this entire portion, that is aggregate supply function, remains constant, and as a result aggregate demand function plays an important determining role for effective demand. Now this aggregate demand function or aggregate demand depends upon two important things, that is, one is called as the consumption demand and the other is called as investment demand. So let us come to our question here. The question was question number 3. The question is asking, aggregate demand in simple Keynesian model consists of dash demand and dash demand. With respect to our flow chart, it consists of consumption demand and investment demand. So let us look at the options here. The option B talks about consumption demand and investment demand, and therefore option B is the correct answer to this particular question, which suggests that aggregate demand in the simple Keynesian model depends upon or consists of consumption demand and investment demand. I hope the question is pretty much clear. In the shorter run, this segment, which is consumption demand, remains constant in the shorter run. Okay, so I'll come to that in the next question per se. Anyways, let us move to the next question. I hope this question is pretty much clear. According to the Keynesian model, consumption demand depends upon dash and dash. Now specifically I'm looking at this segment. Okay, aggregate demand function depends upon these two things, that is consumption demand as well as investment demand. Now the question is specific to consumption demand depends upon dash and dash. It depends upon the size of income and the propensity to consume of the consumer. Okay, so it depends upon size of income and propensity to consume. Let us look at the options. The first is size of income and propensity to save. Here I am looking at propensity to consume and size of income, so this is not the correct option. Second is size of income and propensity to consume. Size of income and propensity to consume, so this is the correct option. The third option is marginal efficiency of capital and rate of interest. Let us come to this. Here we see that investment demand is rather dependent upon marginal efficiency of capital and rate of interest and not consumption demand. So here we are specifically interested in looking at consumption demand and not investment demand. Therefore this option is also incorrect, and therefore the correct answer is option B, the size of income and propensity to consume. So therefore consumption demand, which remains constant in the short run, depends upon size of income and propensity to consume. I hope this question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question, which is directed towards investment demand, and the question is framed in this fashion. In the simple Keynesian model, investment demand depends upon dash and dash. Now here we have seen investment demand depends upon the marginal efficiency of capital and the rate of interest. Let us now come to our options which are available to us. The first is marginal efficiency of capital and rate of interest. Here marginal efficiency of capital and rate of interest, so that is the correct option. Let us look at the second option, which is consumption and investment, which looks really obsolete. The third is size of income and propensity to save. Doesn't really make sense if at all we are looking at investment demand, and none of the above. So here the correct answer according to our flow chart is that investment demand depends upon the rate of interest as well as the marginal efficiency of capital. Okay, so here option A is the correct answer. That means in the simple Keynesian model, investment demand depends upon MEC, that is marginal efficiency of capital, and the rate of interest. So I hope this question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question, which says that according to Keynes, rate of interest is determined by dash and dash. Rate of interest is determined by dash and dash. Let us look at this segment which is talking about rate of interest, because we know investment demand depends upon MEC and rate of interest, but this question is specifically targeted towards rate of interest. So here rate of interest depends upon money supply and money demand, and let us look at our options. The first option is demand for and supply of money. The second is marginal efficiency of capital and supply of savings. The third is size of income and marginal efficiency of capital, and none of the above. So here we have seen that the rate of interest is dependent upon two important things. One is called as the supply of money and the other is called as demand for money, and therefore option A relates to the same. That means according to the Keynesian model, rate of interest is determined by demand for and supply of money. So therefore option A, demand for money and supply of money, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is pretty much clear, and also the flow chart is giving you more sense when we are looking at the questions. I hope this is clear. Let us now move to the next question, which is talking about marginal efficiency of capital. We have looked at this. Now let's come to this, which is a major component of investment demand, marginal efficiency of capital. The question is framed in this fashion: marginal efficiency of capital or expected rate of profit. This is also in some textbooks you will see expected rate of profit. So marginal efficiency of capital or the expected rate of profit depends upon dash and dash. So it depends upon what all things? MEC is dependent upon prospective yield and supply price of capital. Prospective yield or the profit expectations. Sometimes you will see instead of prospective yields, they use profit expectations of the entrepreneur as the wording. So marginal efficiency of capital depends upon the supply price of capital as well as the prospective yield. And let us look at now the options available to us. The first option is prospective yield and supply price of capital. The second is prospective yield and demand for money. The third is marginal efficiency of capital and speculation. Marginal efficiency of capital does not depend upon itself and the speculation, so this is obsolete. Last is none of the above. So here we have seen through the flow chart that marginal efficiency of capital or the expected rate of profit for entrepreneurs depends upon the supply price of capital and the prospective yield or the expected profit. So here we can see that option A relates to that. Okay, so correct answer to question number 7 is option A, that means prospective yield and supply price of capital. Prospective yield, in some textbooks you will see the expected rate of profit also written in the same. Okay, so I hope this question is pretty much clear, and also this segment of the investment demand is pretty much clear. That means rate of interest and how it is dependent upon money demand and money supply, and marginal efficiency of capital or the expected rate of profit, how it is dependent upon the supply price of capital and prospective yield. Now let us look at the last question in this segment. It says, in the Keynesian model, while rate of interest is more or less sticky, in the Keynesian model, while the rate of interest is more or less sticky, it is frequent changes in dash, of the entrepreneur that induces changes in marginal efficiency of capital, which later causes fluctuations or great deal of fluctuations in investment. What is happening is, in the Keynesian model, since rate of interest is sticky, okay, it is more or less sticky, I am saying, what happens is there are frequent changes in something which leads to entrepreneurs or which in turn induces changes in MEC. That means frequent changes in something induces changes in marginal efficiency of capital, and this change in marginal efficiency of capital leads to change in the patterns of investment per se of the entrepreneurs. So whether it is profit expectations, whether it is demand for money, whether it is speculation or none of the above, we are saying that rate of interest is sticky, and as a result what is happening is there is change in something. Now what is that something? This remains constant in the shorter run, so I ignore this. So it is only prospective yield or profit expectations. I have used this in terms of prospective yield earlier. So here profit expectations or prospective yield, which induces frequent changes in profit expectations or prospective yield induces changes in marginal efficiency of capital, and the underlying changes in marginal efficiency of capital will induce certain changes in the investment or patterns of investment. So you can see how prospective yield or slight changes in the prospective yields of the entrepreneur induces changes in marginal efficiency of capital, and in turn affects investment per se or investment demand per se. So I hope the idea of this flow chart to look at the Keynesian theory of employment is pretty much clear. So I hope you like this series. Please stay tuned for more. Thank you.